Hello students and welcome back to our class today, and today we would be talking about human skeletal system. So when we talk about human skeleton, we talk about the bones that we have in our body and the bones who are supposed to provide us with structural framework, which is very important. Why? Because they are supposed to give a shape to my body, and most importantly, they are supposed to give support to my body and all the other organs which they are anchoring. 206 bones are there inside the body of a human adult, which is very important. Why? Because these bones are placed at strategic locations, and each and every bone has certain specific functions which they perform inside the body. So talking about skeletal system, if we talk about human skeleton systems, we have an endoskeleton. Endo means the skeletal system is inside my body, unlike arthropods where I see chitinous covering on the body. So that is something which is known as exoskeleton. So humans, they have an endoskeleton. Okay. So talking about human skeletal system, it is also associated with cartilaginous tissues. Why? Because cartilaginous tissues, they also help in providing strength and shape to various parts of the body. For example, our nose, for example, ear pinna. These areas are a little soft, you can twist them and turn them a bit. However, they have the ability to restore their natural position once they are being released, after they are being twisted. So I hope some of you teachers might have pulled your ears, right, when you guys were young. So this is a perfect example of cartilaginous tissue. Apart from that, the bones in our body, they play a very important role, and that is the role of hemopoiesis. Hemopoiesis means they are the center wherein new cells of my blood are being generated. For example, RBCs, they are generated inside the bone marrow. WBCs, they are also given birth inside the bone marrow. However, most of them, they do not mature inside the bone marrow. They either travel to the thymus gland wherein they become T cells, or they become, or the few who would become mature inside the bone marrow will be labeled as B cells. So B cells and T cells, we further classify them on the basis of the function that they perform when we talk about immunity. So we shall be talking about that in our upcoming chapters. We would not be getting into the details of that as of now. Apart from that, your bones, they also have the potential to store calcium. So most of us, at times, we are given calcium supplements by the doctors, right? But you should always take such supplements in a regulated amount. Why? Lot of calcium inside your bones will make your bones brittle. Brittle means it's easy to break. So avoiding lot of calcium intake after permissible levels is something that should be taken care of. Now, when we need to learn about the human skeletal system, let's just take a look at how exactly do we divide human skeletal system. So, human skeletal system is divided into two major parts. The first one is axial system, also known as the system which is forming the axis of my body, and of course the appendicular system, which consists of appendages. So talking about appendages, we have four appendages. We have hind limbs and we have forelimbs, right? So these are the limbs that are the part of appendicular skeletal system. So if I'm standing here and I start rotating, the line of axis would straight away start from this position. It's an imaginary line which we make sure is, which we imagine that is passing through the body, around which the body would rotate. Okay, so that is what is an axis. So now we learn about the divisions of axial skeletal system. We divide axial skeletal system into the bones which are present inside my skull, into the bones which are present inside my vertebral column, which is here towards the back. Apart from that, there are bones which are present inside the ear. We call them as ossicles, and of course there are bones which are present in the buccal cavity over here. It is a U-shaped bone which helps in anchoring our tongue, and that bone is known as hyoid bone. So these are the few bones which are forming the part of axial skeletal system of my body. In some more detail, and then we shall talk about what are their parts. So talking about axial skeletal system, the first thing that we got to know about is our skull, right? So our skull. Our skull has 14 facial bones in it, and there are 8 bones which are present in the skull. So post that we talk about the facial bones, which is the bones which are present in this area. So these are total 14 in number, and we shall quickly label them as per their location. So number 1 is sphenoid bone, which is this area, right? So sphenoid bone. Followed by that is zygomatic bone, which is here, also known as cheekbone, this area. So zygomatic bone. And then we have maxilla area, which is this area, your upper jaw. Just below maxilla, the movable portion of your jaw, the lower jaw, also referred to as mandibles. Remember submandibular salivary gland? We got to know about it, right? Which is opening over here in the mandible, the lower jaw. Then we have is styloid process, which is this area. So these are some of the bones which are present when we talk in reference to human skull. There is this depression as well, which is the cavity for holding human eye. So if you guys take a look at the nose bone over here, it looks like it is somehow, discontinuous or incomplete structure. Why? Because the nose bone, it will end over here, and followed by that is cartilaginous tissue, which is supposed to give the shape to my nose. And you guys might have heard about rhinoplasty, and some people they call it as rhinoplasty as well. Why? Because it is the surgery which is used for reshaping the nose. So a lot of celebrities, they opt for such procedures. Apart from that, there are normal individuals who might be in a need to, opt for such surgical procedures. Why? Because if there is any problem in this area, the sinus area, then it might be difficult for you to breathe normally. It could be because of a bone deformity, or it could be because of growth of polyps inside the nose. So all those conditions, they demand medical help, and they demand surgical correction as well. So you might have heard some people, they say, the nose becomes slightly crooked, tilted because of the extra growth of the bone. And doctors, they then suggest that you need to undergo a surgery so that the extra bone can be removed and we can restore normal breathing pattern for you. So there is one more bone in the skull area, which is hyoid bone. So those of you who might have seen some, skeletons which are present in the biology lab, or maybe through some other sources, you might have seen that on my skeleton I have these sort of divisions, right? So it is divided into flaps. So collectively those are 8 in number, and these flaps are supposed to make sure that your brain, it stays safe inside the cranium cavity, and there is a cranial fluid which is present around the meninges of your brain as well. So we would be talking about that fluid. Cerebrospinal fluid is the name, and we shall be talking about that in a while. So cranium. Talking about the vertebral column. See, when you talk about vertebral columns in humans, it is at the dorsal side, which is this side, the back side. The front side is known as ventral side. So when we talk about vertebrates, we always perform surgeries or any kind of dissection on them from the ventral side. So this is something that we all should keep in mind. So vertebral column is made up of tiny bones which are known as vertebrae, and these vertebrae are 26 in number. It is these vertebrae and the tissue which is in amongst them that enables you to bend forward, to lean backwards, and of course to twist your body right and left. Had it been that it was a stiff long bone, then these movements would not have been possible. So credit for the flexibility goes to vertebral column. Now talking about one more stuff over here, which is hyoid bone. It is just one, U-shaped, and is present in the buccal cavity, the floor of the mouth, and our ear. It has 3 major bones in it, which we include in axial system. These bones are malleus, incus, and stapes, right? So these are the bones which are responsible for the mechanism of hearing as well. These are the bones which receive the stimulus and further transmit it to the inner ear. So we would be talking about the structure of human ear in detail in our upcoming chapter as well. So talking about the thorax region now. When you talk about thorax region, which is the area present above the diaphragm, which is this portion, there are ribs which are present inside that area. We have 12 pair of ribs, which makes it a total of 24 ribs, and these are attached to my vertebral column towards the dorsal side. Talking about the ventral side, they are connected with the breastbone, also known as sternum. So if you want to feel that breastbone, this is the area wherein you will have your breastbone. So ventrally, these ribs are connected to my breastbone, also known as sternum. So if you start touching this area, this is the area wherein you have your sternum, and as soon as sternum ends, that's the area where you will see the muscular separation of diaphragm. So the portion of body above diaphragm until here is thoracic cavity. Below diaphragm until your legs they start is known as abdominal cavity. 12 pair of ribs plus 1 sternum. That makes it 25. So till now we have covered 80 bones. So there are 80 bones which are going to form the part of my axial skeletal system. So we are highlighting all these bones in the picture over here. So these are being highlighted in the color blue, as you can see it over here. And now we would be talking about our shoulder girdle first. Shoulder girdle is this area. So you can touch your collarbone over here. It is easily visible, very prominent for those who are into careers like modeling and other stuff, right? So it is clearly visible over here. Then we have our shoulder girdle, which is towards the back over here. So it is a big bone-like structure which is holding my humerus. Humerus is the first bone of my arm, which is in connection with the shoulder girdle. So we have one clavicle on either side, the collarbone. Post that we have scapula. So let us now learn what are the various parts of appendicular skeletal system. So when we need to learn about appendicular skeletal system, we need to understand that this skeletal system is more elaborate as compared to axial skeletal system in terms of the number of bones that it has in it. Why? See, your appendages, they are supposed to give you a lot of movement. They give you the ability to locomote and to move, right? So this is why these bones, though they are supposed to provide structural support to your body, however, they should have the ability to provide you with movements as well. And those movements, they are supposed to be accurate and they are supposed to be precise. So when we talk about appendicular skeletal system, let's just start with our shoulders. So talking about shoulders, on either side we have collarbones, which are also known as clavicle. So we have one clavicle on either side. Followed by that, if you go towards the back portion over here, you will find a big shoulder plate which is known as scapula. So we have two scapula, one on either side. Similarly, we have two clavicles, one on either side. So after scapula, we need to come to our arms, and these arms, the first bone in them is humerus. Humerus is the bone which is supposed to articulate with the shoulder joint over here. Articulate means to interact, the place where it is anchored. Humerus is one on either side in both the arms. So total number is 2. Talking about that, now we reach to ulna and radius, which are present in your forearm, which is this area, right? So we have 2 bones on either side. So what do you have is 2 radius and 2 ulna. So 2 ulna and we have 2 radius. Now we reach to the portion which is supposed to form my wrist. Wrist, it has combination of bones or number of tiny bones which are attached together, and these bones are known as carpals. So we have 16 carpals in total, which means 8 on either side. Post that we reach to metacarpals, right? And the calculation for metacarpals is very easy. They are total 10 in number, which means 5 in this hand, 5 in this hand. Followed by, now we move on to these digits, which are present inside the fingers. And they are known as phalanges. Okay. These are total 28 in number. So we started off with humerus, we came to radius and ulna, then to carpals, followed by metacarpals, and finally to phalanges. So these are the bones which are present in the human arms, right? Now let's just talk about hind limbs as well. So hind limbs. Hind limbs, they are anchored with the help of a girdle which is known as pelvic girdle, also commonly known as hip bone. So this hip bone has two depressions in it, which is known as acetabulum, the cavity from where the femur bone starts. After femur, we reach to our kneecaps, right? In knee, we have a bone which is known as patella. If you touch your knee right now, you feel that small circular disc. That is the one which is patella. So, giving them numbers, one femur in either of the legs, so total we have two. Talking about patella, one in either of the knee, so we have two of them. If we go below patella now, we see two more bones which are tibia and fibula. Again, one in either side. Now, post that, we are supposed to reach the ankle area which has tarsals in it. So, these are like combination of bones which are forming your heel. So, we have total 14 tarsals, which is 7 in either of the foot. Total 14 in both the feet. So, this is the difference, foot and feet. Foot is singular, feet is plural form. Post that, we talk about phalanges. Phalanges which are forming the entire foot, the base of your foot as well, right? So, the total bones that we cover so far is 126. So, in axial system we have 80. So, let's just make a total of it. So, the total now comes up to 206. This is the number of bones that human adult would have inside their body. We always hear this question that human kids have more bones as compared to adults. So, where do these bones they go whenever they become adults, right? So, the question is, a few of these bones, they would fuse with each other to give rise to some complicate or to give rise to some strong structures. So, these, they do not wither away from the body, instead they fuse together to give rise to good and solid human structures. Okay, great. So, now we move ahead. So, now we need to learn in detail about human skull. So, as you guys can see it here in the picture, we have presented the human skull so that we can label all the bones in it and we can get to know about their functions as well. So, whenever somebody gets some kind of brain tumor, or there is any surgery or a repair of aneurysm inside the brain. Aneurysm is when there is some problem in the blood vessel, it becomes loose or distended or at times even burst. So, doctors, they actually they take this much area of the skull out. They use a hammer, of course, to break the skull and get the portion of the bone out. They make the repair that they need to do in the brain, and then they paste this piece of bone back, which gives structural support to the skull yet again. So, these bones are very important. Why? Because they give protection to my brain, and that is a very important organ. Okay, guys? All right. So, today we'll stop it till here only. We'll stop it till skull itself. In the next class, we will talk about other parts of the axial skeletal system, and of course, we would be discussing about appendicular skeletal system as well. So, keep on revising of what we have studied so far. In the next class, we shall connect again and we shall continue with our discussion. So, take care, have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
In this lecture, we have studied human skeletal system is grouped into two principal divisions: axial skeletal system, appendicular skeletal system. The skull is composed of two sets of bones, cranial and facial. Human skull has 8 cranial bones and 14 facial bones. Vertebral column is formed by 26 serially arranged units called vertebrae and is dorsally placed. Human middle ear consists of 3 tiny bones: malleus, incus and stapes. Pectoral and pelvic girdle bones help in articulation of the upper and the lower limbs respectively with axial skeleton.